Everybody, welcome to the Kratom Gals. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. We've gotten really popular all of a sudden. This is our weekly live stream. We're a group of everyday average Kratom consumers who show up weekly to watch what's being said out there. There's so many headlines and hearings and viral clips that are happening week by week. So we come here and we break it all down and we do it together as a group. And it's based on our own personal lived experience. There's no spin here. There's no agenda. This is just honest conversation from people who use natural Kratom. I'm Madeline Sklar, host of the Kratom Gals, the Kratom Stories podcast, and the Kratom Real Talk community. I've been a daily Kratom consumer for over 7 years now. This plant has completely changed my life, and that's why I'm a very loud and proud advocate for this plant. And I also spend a lot of time educating people on it because more people need to know that this exists. Now, if you're new here, if you're live here with us right now, jump into the chat. We got the chat room going. We love to hear from you. Your voice matters in this conversation too. And whether you're watching live or catching the replay, take a quick moment and hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. It is the best way to help more people find us on this platform. And for those that don't know, we actually lost our previous YouTube account back in December, which really sucked because we had really built it up and everybody knew to come watch us each week. And then you have to start over at zero. So it's taken time to rebuild. So just help us spread the word by sharing it, liking, and subscribing. And a quick note before we begin, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not medical professionals here. Nothing shared should be taken as medical advice. We're just sharing our personal experiences and advocating for responsible legal access to Kratom. So let's bring up our gals. We got a full house today of the Kratom Gals. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
I love this. 6 of us on screen. This is so nice. So great. And welcome to our newest gal who's been a guest from time to time, but Sarah is going to be one of our regulars now. Welcome aboard, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Exciting.
Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So wonderful to have you, Sarah.
When I first started this, I just was thinking in the beginning, like, it'd be cool if there were like 4 of us on screen. And, this was just some crazy random idea I came up with to do this live stream. And I really liked 4 of us on screen, really worked well. And then we'd sometimes have guests and sometimes it'd be 5 of us. And I'm like, I don't know if I like this so much. And then I don't want too many voices. But over time, when we've had 6 of us here, I'm like really liking it. And it allows for more diverse voices in the conversation. And I think it looks really good when there's 6 people on screen. I think this looks really nice. So, yeah. We love you, Sarah, and we wanted to hear you on here more regularly. So we're excited.
I love you guys too. So I'm excited.
We are thrilled to have you as part of the Kratom Gals gang. And like Venus says, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as this is the only place we're live streaming is here on the YouTube channel. We definitely want more people to know that we're here. And we have a platform where we can talk about this amazing plant. And, so far we haven't been censored on here, so we're just going to keep going. That reminds me, Sarah, did one of Dan's videos on TikTok just get taken down? I thought I linked it in my browser and I was able to find it again, but I'm like, wait a minute.
He had to re-edit it. He didn't like have some of his editing, so he deleted it and redid it. But no, thankfully that has not happened. But yeah,
I saved it in my browser.
Yeah.
When I went back to it, it was gone. I'm like, uh-oh.
That was me. I posted it, and he's like, I don't like the way you edited it. He's really picky, so he redid it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of can we see and can't we see? Heads up to everybody that's still using Facebook. Make sure you have backed up your account.
Yeah.
And start looking at other social media sites to communicate with, because I can't even go into a group anymore. I keep getting told they can't verify my information. So, and they're hitting several of us with that. I can't go like something in the group even, or share something. So it's happening more and more to anyone that has ever spoken about Kratom.
Yeah, Facebook in the Kratom community is dead. If you're not moving yourself out of there, you need to now. We have a vibrant community like a Facebook group, but without censorship. I started the Kratom Real Talk like 2.5 years ago because of the censorship I was dealing with. And it was ridiculous. I've lost a TikTok, I've lost YouTube, have issues with Facebook. So I went and found a place, a home for us where there's no censorship and I'm the one that has the control, not a tech bro. So the thing is with social media, they're free, right? They're free. So we have to remind ourselves we're getting what we're paying for. These sites can do whatever they want at any time. And if you haven't heard, it's getting worse because you have Taunton Bay doing a tweet the other day that they use MailChimp to send out their newsletters, a very popular company that's been around a very long time. They won't let them use it anymore. MailChimp said no to them after a lot of years of using them. And I've used them. And here's the thing. I actually moved my the Kratom Real Talk newsletter I've been doing for a few years. I moved it last year from MailChimp, that I was paying for, by the way, to Substack. And Substack is free. And I have not run into any issues with censorship, at least not yet. Venus has been using it regularly. So is Christopher. So I look,
we've got to.
This is coming from somebody, me, who's been teaching social media for 20 years. I've been in digital marketing for 30 years. People in the Kratom community should get on school. You don't have to join, Kratom Real Talk. You can. We'd love to have you there. You should start your own. If you had a Facebook group and you want to move it, you can set up your own. It's not free though, because that goes back to what I was saying. You're getting what you're paying for. So here's the thing about school, and I'm happy to help anybody that needs this because this is one of the things I do, is they have a lower tier plan now. For $9 a month, you could have your own school community and there's zero censorship. You want to know how I know? Because when I went and set mine up, and back then you only had one plan available. I had to pay $99 a month, and I still do. I contacted them first, and I wanted to know before I invest money in this and time and energy, can we use this without censorship? And they were a smaller company. They're huge now. I reached out to them and they came right back and said, yeah, no problem. You can't sell on here, but if this is, educational and just information and a community, yes. So it's amazing that I can put up videos on there that I can't put on social media. There is a 7-minute video of me walking you step by step how to make blade papes, like how I use blade papes when I want to take my kratom that way. I have a 5-minute video of me making my swamp water kratom tea. People ask these questions, and if I put it on my social media, my account will get deleted. They won't let you post stuff like that. And we should have a place where we can post stuff like that. So come over to kratomrealtalk.com. If you want to start your own school community, reach out to me and let me know. I'll help you get that started because, Facebook is just not the place to be anymore. Still okay to be at, but we can't talk about kratom there, and they're removing accounts that do that.
Mm-hmm. You don't even say the word and they remove it.
They're doing old posts, because I know one of mine got hit a couple of months ago, and it was from 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're actual news articles from the news that, was on the news. And it's oh, okay. I didn't know I wasn't allowed to share something that the news was sharing. It's just, I don't know what it is, if it's the bots or whatever it is they did a new sweep and everybody got hit. And I know a bunch of groups got hit. Venus's page got hit. I know my page got, I think it's on its last threat to be banned for something. So I'm going to have to back it up.
Mine has been like that for a year or something too, but same thing, from months and months ago, and they redo them too. And I'm like,
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Just randomly.
Yeah. Yep.
Some of my posts that they're hitting are from 2016, 2017.
Yep. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And these are on archived groups and pages. So guess what? You're not even supposed to be looking at them, Facebook. They archived. Nobody else can see them but you.
Well, I know everybody's still using in the Kratom community the Messenger. Messenger that I don't trust. I know. I mean, I'm in these Messenger groups with a lot of y'all. I'm surprised they haven't done anything, and they may shut down your account just because we're using that to talk about Kratom. I would use Slack. We've used Slack for our Kratom Gals for years. We've never had any issues. We talk about Kratom all the time. It's private. It's private. It's just like Messenger, and private group chatting. Without and you can I use the free. I've never paid for it. I've always used the free account. Paid is if you want it to retain your conversations for more than 3 months, and I've never had a need for that. Not for what I use it for, but for smaller groups, it is amazing. If people have questions of where to move to, reach out to me, because this is stuff I have lots of information on. But come join us. I'll leave the ticker down there. Our 2 places. Come join our newsletter on Substack. We're not having any censorship issues with the newsletter. Start your own. Substack is great. It's kind of like a social media feed. It was just a free newsletter site, and anybody can use it for their newsletter. You can go move your email if you have new emails collected, like at MailChimp or somewhere else. You can go export that list and pop it right into Substack. Is what I did. And then also this newer thing with Substack is it's also like a social media feed, and it's really cool. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds.
And less drama. It's not like, I find it's not like drama like Discord or Reddit, because you find like Facebook has the drama, Discord has the drama, like a lot of that back and forth drama. You don't have that on the Substack. I like that chat that you introduced me to. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then of course our Kratom Real Talk on the school platform.
Yeah,
I'm seeing more Kratom communities pop up on school. Christopher has one. Is it Cami? Cami's the one that has one, I think. I can't remember everybody's names, but yeah. Extreme's asking, do we hear about Trump firing the commissioner? What I heard is that he hasn't been fired as of last night, but that they're not happy with him or something because of the whole vaping thing. He was forced to approve the vape thing. So I don't know. And then did y'all hear about Drea losing her YouTube? Because I'm pretty sure I heard that. I think she posted something about losing her YouTube.
Oh man, that sucks.
I've seen several questions about it too. Yeah.
But I don't do anything with brands on my YouTube. That I'm pretty, even though YouTube did not tell me why they deleted my account in December, I'm pretty sure that's why. And because like on here, I would just say, like I would show like, oh, here's the one I'm using today. I would like hold up one of y'all's, like, Mid-Respect or Christopher's. And then I would mention discount code we have. Never had a problem with that. I actually could get away with that on the live stream. You couldn't do it on the recorded content anymore. And so
TikTok stopped me from doing it too.
I got in trouble with that a few times with YouTube, and it was pretty clear to me that's what it was. But when they actually deleted the account, I had stopped doing that on recorded, but I was still doing it on the live stream. And I think it was all of a sudden right after one of our live streams, it's like, account's gone. So, the platforms have gotten stricter, but X, there's no issues. Substack, I've not had issues. School, of course, there's no issues. So there are other places where you have the control and not have to worry about that. But I don't know if anybody hears anything on the FDA commissioner. You know what I did hear, though, in the article I read last night about the FDA commissioner, that it's possible they might bring back one of the previous FDA commissioners. And, one of the names that popped up that I saw, Brett Jawar.
Oh, please no. Please no, don't say it.
So I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing if he came back? But wasn't Jawar the one that kept Kratom from getting banned because of some letter and that it showed that it was safe or something? You might be thinking of that other guy. I think you're thinking of that other guy.
Yeah, I was.
The one from 2016. No, his name didn't come. I was like, please don't let his name. No, it mentioned names and yes. I knew it was with the G.
I have nightmares about that man to this day.
But this was Jawar, and he was the one that helped. I think that was back in 2018 where there was some letter and he made sure it came to light and that, like, no, we're not going to ban it. So, yeah. Well, we've got Oh yeah, Christopher says Brett is good, and that he stopped the ban in 2018. Yeah, so that's a good thing. But I mean, this article might have been speculation and stuff. It just said that if they do push him out, they said it's possible that they'll just bring back one of the previous ones, and they mentioned 3 names, and his was one of them. But no, not Gottlieb though. Could you
I was so afraid that Gottlieb was the name you were going to say.
Yeah, he was.
That's what I thought too.
But do you think he would seriously come back once they move over to corporate, to the dark side where they got all their money from? Do you think they're going to go back to government?
No.
A couple have gone back and forth because they can get things passed and going that they can then move back into the corporate world and benefit from.
Yeah.
I mean, Gottlieb's done it before, so I don't think he would ever come back. I would hope.
Well,
he got enough of a black eye.
If it was something in it for him.
Yeah.
You know, we know how government operates. There are quite a few news stories for us to watch. And then later, of course, we're going to go look at a couple of interesting clips from the South Carolina with the amendment they did this. Was it this week? I don't remember when it was. Or maybe it was recent. Maybe it wasn't this. I don't know. Venus, do you remember the one with the amendment?
They had the hearing for that this week in the subcommittee.
So this was probably a while back. But thank you, Venus, for always getting the timestamps for me. And then we all have heard about the big comedian mocking Kratom this week. Did you know another big comedian didn't mock Kratom? Well, a little bit, but talked about Kratom too. I was like, whoa, 2 big comedians in 1 week, but it wasn't bad. So we're gonna watch some of that stuff later too. But let's get into it because there's a lot. But here's the thing: I'm surprised. I'm sure by now everybody's heard Tennessee governor banned Kratom. And so it's going to, I think it's effective, July 1st? So it's going to
July 1st. Yeah.
So ban, criminalize.
Sad, dark day.
Yeah, which we figured, right? I mean, it was kind of pretty much figured that's what was going to happen. But he did sign it the other night. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen any news stories about this. I mean, I know it's new news, but I thought there would be a video for me to play coming out of Tennessee.
I would hope that they're too embarrassed.
They were pretty big.
I'm just going to say it because every one of those folks know that they got up there and lied.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Benadryl thing. It was the craziest story. It's still just so hard to believe, you know.
Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder, you know, that's like that stuff like that's like, okay, me, I'm like, what's the bigger picture? That's like my immediately, you know, thought to something. Okay, well, what's the bigger picture? Just same, you know, the same with New Hampshire. What was the bigger picture? Because we went in there with an age restriction and now we've got a 7-0 ban whenever the heck she signs it.
Yeah, which she hasn't yet, but she can sign it whenever, basically. But
yeah. So I mean, you know, today somebody can be fined. Tomorrow, could be a Schedule 2 felon.
And you have no idea when she feels like signing that, you know.
Oh, I know, and she's terrible. Not a big fan.
Well, and with Tennessee, we had already overturned it once. We'd already stopped the ban that they had in place.
That's right. Yeah, it was.
And so for them to go back into that over lies, that one leaves me more gut punched than I think any of the other bans so far. Because I would move out of that state.
Me too. Out the door. I'd be so out of there.
And I think here's because I know Dan was doing research, Sarah. I would really love to see what the overdose increases, the suicide increases, and the hospitalization increases, how much they go up over the next 6 months.
Same. And you know it's going to happen too.
Of course.
We do.
Absolutely.
Florida's went up drastically.
I would love to see someone track that and present it to them.
Yeah, we were
Kentucky
actually talking
signed-
about that. Yep.
Yeah,
Well-
Kentucky signed their ban bill. It just doesn't take effect until next year. So if we can get more information to show them just how
Exactly.
wrong
Or if the
that ban
FDA, if the FDA would
Yeah,
like talk
just-
about the published
Oh, I
studies they're
know.
part of, it's like, you know, people
Yeah.
just,
if they would just put it on their website that they're not coming after plain leaf kratom.
you know what, Robin?
Real simple.
If government would just get off their butts.
But and actually do what we elected them to do. Can
Let's
you
get the
imagine
government
a
off
world
their
where the
butts.
Yeah, shame on us for expecting them to do that.
Right. Well, you know, what's interesting, this first news story I'm going to play is out of, we're getting a lot of background sound from somebody, is Florida, speaking of, which, by the way, their 7.0 ban set to expire June 30th, because, you know, that was a temporary ban. I'm getting a lot of noise. Sarah, I think it's coming from you. Is your dog in there?
No, it's my husband. He was typing.
Oh my God, that's typing?
Yeah.
Tell
Wow.
Dan we say hello. Tell Dan we say hello, but man, that was
They said hi. Yeah, it was loud. He's like, oh. He had headphones on. So.
picks it right up. It's all good. You just mute. It's mute when you're not talking, and
Okay.
it's just picking up a lot of background sounds from you. Yeah. So this first news story from Florida. The title of this video is "Florida Man Survives Kratom Product Overdose, Warns Others." So, you know, got to go for the clicks and views, right, on YouTube with these videos. So let's watch this.
Our I team is looking into a synthetic opioid stronger than morphine.
A ban on the drug is set to expire next month after state lawmakers failed to make the ban permanent. 7-OH exists in trace amounts in a plant known as kratom. That derivative has a high potential for addiction and abuse. And once the ban expires, it will again be accessible at gas stations and smoke shops.
Investigative reporter Kylie McGivern is following through tonight after first reporting 7 years ago on the products labeled as kratom. And tonight, Kylie is introducing us to a survivor who shares a warning he says he never got.
This is the chair that I sat in the day I took the kratom product.
Wes Griggs took that seat at Soft Roast Recovery in Tampa, an addiction treatment program.
The facilitator came back. I was unconscious.
Griggs' story starts back in 2019. He was shot in the back, then hospitalized in 2 car crashes.
The opioids that were prescribed, I didn't want to do them forever. You go into a gas station and you see, you know, something right there that's all natural supplement, plant-based. I felt relief. This is quite something that, you know, I just bought this at a gas station and it works better than a prescription.
Griggs was taking what he later learned was 7-OH, a synthetic opioid, potent and powerful, that exists only in trace amounts naturally in the kratom plant.
And I spoke with the gas station clerk and I said, I thought they banned this. He said, oh, this is the new Florida compliant.
In August, Florida's Attorney General filed an emergency rule.
We see immediate danger,
Making it illegal to sell, possess, or distribute 7-OH in the state.
It is a significant painkiller. It has been proven to be highly addictive and easily can be overdosed.
The Commissioner of Food and Drugs joined the AG at Tampa General Hospital supporting the move.
Our focus is not on the kratom leaf. There is synthetic concentrated kratom, which is popping up in vape stores all over America, and we need to know what's going on.
Experts tell me, think of it like alcohol. 7-OH in kratom is like alcohol in a non-alcoholic beer. There are trace amounts, but the percentage differs when it comes to a seltzer versus craft beer, wine, or bourbon. It's all alcohol, but the concentration of the intoxicant is different. That's the issue with products labeled as kratom. Unlike federal regulations that show this with alcohol, there's nothing identifying the potency of the product. As for 7-OH,
it is an opioid, and yet you can go in a vape shop in America almost on any corner and buy it like a cup of coffee.
Griggs did. March 10th, he took a tablet he thought was safe after Florida's emergency rule and got back in his car.
I walked into treatment And next thing you know, I fall asleep.
It took 2 doses of Narcan to revive him.
I woke up with paramedics surrounding me and in complete fear.
We looked at the Centers for Disease Control records and found a 10-year analysis showing a 1,200% increase in kratom-related exposure reports, hitting a record high in 2025. Dr. Chris McCurdy, a researcher at the University of Florida, has spent more than 2 decades studying kratom, and he says the surge coincides with the influx of synthetics. What's in the box? I first met with Dr. McCurdy 7 years ago as he was testing kratom products.
This is just completely full of one product.
What are some of the things that you're seeing?
Hydrocodone, and we have seen morphine.
But they want to be a part of this.
Nick Badlow, a combat veteran, founded Sophros Recovery.
We've seen about a 400% increase in clients testing positive for kratom.
Where Griggs was in group when he overdosed.
That shouldn't happen with something that you buy at the gas station. We got past Oxycontin. We're starting to see fentanyl deaths go down again. And if we don't do something about it, this could very well end up being the next drug crisis.
I never in a million years thought that that would happen to me. And that's just the danger behind it.
As concerns have risen, so has pushback against the ban of 7-OH, including a complaint filed by a Florida-based company and 6 users against the emergency rule that a judge later dismissed. Now, right now, if no further action is taken, the ban is set to expire at the end of June. With photojournalist Randy Wright, I'm IT.
All right. So, you know what just stood out to me just a minute ago was when the recovery center guy that started it said, fentanyl deaths have gone down.
Yeah. Isn't that like hearing that?
And that's not me advocating.
Fentanyl deaths have gone down.
That's not me advocating for 7-OH.
Wonderful news.
Yeah, it's not me advocating for 7-OH. I'm just saying, because I don't use 7-OH, but you got a recovery center guy making that bold statement. And I know people in the 7-OH community and Dr. Ross talk about
law enforcement even said it too.
Fentanyl deaths have come down. I wish there would be more information and research and concrete evidence that, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm just pointing out that what stood out to me so much, the bizarreness of I was sitting in this chair right here when I took this pill while I was in group. I mean, I don't know. I just thought that was a little odd.
And if anybody knows anything about treatment, getting into a treatment facility of something like that, you have to test positive for some sort of a drug. They're not taking you in for kratom. There's not treatment facilities for kratom. In the treatment facility, world that I've worked in, the harm reduction, if you're going into treatment, and I know this because I have people going, I have to use just so I can get into treatment. I have to test positive just so I can get a bed to get in treatment. So what was he overdosing on, and then Mike had said something in the comments, was his product lace? And that, that's another thing. Like, we don't know what these gas stations, have. I mean, a friend of mine showed me some product that she got the other day, some, little, kratom shot. Nowhere on the thing it says anything about 7-0, but she's like, I've taken 7-0 before and it feels like it. So took a picture of it, and I'm going to do a little research myself to find out what it is, because she wants to know. But they need, this is like,
that's the thing. And he's an adult.
Yeah.
Right. That man is an adult, and I'm sorry, but you should be researching what you're putting in your body, and you just don't take a pill from a gas station.
That's right.
You know what? Cigarettes are available at a gas station. Is that something you should go pick up and start doing just because it's in a gas station? No.
And alcohol.
But I do I do have to commend that reporter. That's probably one of the most unbiased, balanced news pieces I have seen in 10 years. That was phenomenal, especially coming out of Florida with all that we have dealt with there.
Yeah, I just didn't like the headline on their YouTube, but that's like a different person that's in charge of news for the social media. But no, I agree. Anybody else have any thoughts? on that video?
I thought she did good too, and I thought she also talked to him. She said 7 years ago, so she's been paying attention, which is good. And people need to be paying attention if they're going to make a news story and talk about it. So at least she's doing that. So.
Great point.
And I was wondering if he actually said, did he, because I missed the part, did he say he just took one and then he had a reaction?
I think
and they
he
said they
implied that. I think it was kind of implied the way he said it.
Yeah, that was weird. He just said he went to a gas station.
And that he had to have, what, 2 doses of Narcan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know the dose of what he took.
It was not a Kratom product.
That's not a Kratom product because we know that Narcan doesn't work for Kratom products.
Exactly.
So if that just got the 2 doses of Narcan is what it took to bring them back, what was he taking?
It could have been. It was probably.
Or he got it somewhere else. And I hate to always think about people not being truthful, but I do. He got something somewhere else and he blamed it on the pill in the gas station.
Or you know what else? It could be the gas station buying something under the table to get it cheap, and then adulterated from the go. You know, this is why regulations need to happen, not prohibition, but regulations to force the manufacturers to be testing, force the vendors to be doing the right thing so that when people are buying stuff, they know what they're getting. You're going to always have these irresponsible adults. That's what we see on these news stories every time. It's like, oh, so they're going to take away our Kratom because of all these irresponsible adults. Well, they did that with the opiates. So it's almost not even surprising.
But are they going to do it with alcohol then? Because there's plenty of people that are not responsible with alcohol.
Exactly. Exactly.
Better get rid of coffee and energy drinks.
Yep. And ashwagandha too. That's been like a thing now too for some reason.
Yeah,
which
sure is.
I can't believe they're going after that. I love my ashwagandha.
Me too.
Insanity. They are just going after the leaf because the leaf is not as safe and can be toxic. They're not touching the bark, the root, or the plant, just the leaves at this point.
At this
But
point,
you gotta figure
you
if
start
India-
touching one thing, you start touching the whole plant.
Right.
Yeah.
If India is doing this, because India is huge on Ayurvedic medicine.
Yeah.
And if they're taking it in India, that's not good.
No.
Because of course you're going to look at people over here and they're going to say, "Oh, they banned part of it, so it's all got to be bad."
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and we appreciate, like Venus says, that y'all at BAE fight for all plants. We love that. All right, I got this next news story. It's very short, out of Nashville, but short but interesting. And I don't know if y'all heard about this one yet.
This morning, child neglect charges after a child ingested a gummy and collapsed at a home. According to an arrest affidavit, the child found a gummy on Lamisha Preston's nightstand. Police determined the package of gummy had been bought at a vape shop and contained kratom. Arrest documents say the child collapsed at the home and was given Narcan before being taken to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. This morning, Lamisha Preston is charged with felony child neglect.
That's it. It was very, very.
I want
Well, I hope it's really a gummy and not candy, like the
like the other one, the dots that those kids took at some school.
Right.
Right. But it was showed on the screen. So it said bought at a vape shop. They're only calling it Kratom. Well, we know Narcan doesn't work on Kratom, so that's incorrect.
Right.
It's probably an adulterated product.
And I'm sorry, but if it was on her nightstand, what else could it have been sitting in? What other products or drugs had she consumed that were laying on her bedside table? Stop
that she would just leave it.
I want to see the toxic results. I want the toxicology report. Period. Because that's
And I'm
not.
sorry, but I don't think a kid would like the taste of a Kratom gummy either. Like, it's very bitter. I'm not saying it's bad, but I don't
They
know.
all are gross.
But
I don't
for
care,
a kid,
I don't care if it says it's flavored something. It's gross. It does not taste like if
I think they would spit it out.
It's
Me too.
It's
With
gross.
a lot of kids, they would just be like, ugh, spit it out, you know? So that's strange too, to me.
But it doesn't surprise me that this story is coming out of Tennessee. It's almost like they have to
They're trying to
continue to feed their narrative.
Continue to demonize.
Well, remember when we started hearing about the bans, and then all of a sudden there was these random break-ins to like liquor stores of people stealing like Kratom, which was not really happening. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to further their narrative.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Isn't it sad that we have all become so jaded?
Yeah.
That we look at things this way? That's painful. You know, if I'm being honest, it's painful to have to look at the world like that.
Right.
But they've given us no other choice. You know, we're honest about what we say and do. Why can't the rest of the world be?
Right.
Absolutely. This
That's all we're asking for.
This next one is titled, I mean, mind you, I'm just reading what the YouTube title is. It says Kratom and Pregnancy. So let's watch this one.
From gas stations to smoke shops, Kratom is being marketed and sold as a natural herbal supplement.
It's advertised as safe, but we are now seeing very harmful effects.
But Dr. David Andreyko says Kratom is psychoactive, unregulated, and addictive.
Your body reacts to it in the same way that you may react to heroin or alcohol, where you have dependence and you have withdrawal.
It doesn't just affect the person taking it. Now they're seeing Kratom effects in newborns from pregnant mothers.
Whether it's a leaf, whether it's a gel capsule, a powder, it does cross the placenta into the newborn, the baby in the womb.
We have seen multiple babies born here at Health Park who have had neonatal abstinence syndrome and required medical treatment from withdrawal from Kratom.
So increased fussiness, sneezing, irritability, excessive crying, tremors.
It requires a NICU stay.
That separation, babies watching them go through withdrawal is painful. It's sad.
It can be passed through breast milk. Doctors urge anyone who is pregnant or planning to become pregnant to speak with their provider before taking any supplements. For Lee Health, I'm Devin.
All right. Interesting one.
Okay, first off, of course it was Lee Health.
What's Lee Health? I mean,
a big medical center, pharmaceutical.
Yeah, I'm actually in a group that there's still a couple of groups out there in some chats, like the moms Kratom groups and stuff. And Stephanie Sue, I mean, gosh, I wish she was today would have been a perfect day for her to have been on because she's you know, gosh, back when NACU was around, you know, there was, you know, Stephanie Sue and Ashley, you know, there was NACU 1 and 2, baby 1 and 2, you know, and gosh, I don't even know how old her son is now. He's got to be 7, 8, something like that. He's getting up there and he's, you know, doing good. And then there's, you know, other people that have done tons and tons of tests with the breast milk and it's never passed through. That's their experience that I've, you know, seen them say. So that's interesting to see some of the stuff that's being said. And then, you know, a lot of the people in the groups also, you know, vaping or, you know, depression medication or something like that, you know, those also too can cause the tremors and stuff. So I'd like to know, was it just Kratom or was, you know, was there something else? Because usually 9 times out of 10, there is something like, you know, some sort of cigarette vaping or whatever that contributes to the majority of these shaking things that are going on. My son had it. And I didn't vape. I didn't smoke at the time. I mean, he's 27. I wasn't taking Kratom then. And my son had the, you know, the shakes, but that can also happen through, you know, a fast birth as well, too. So there's many things that can cause all of that.
Well, and most of us in the Kratom community have said from the gate, we don't know enough about Kratom and pregnancy, suggest that you don't use it. But as an expectant mother, if you are doing something that perhaps you shouldn't be, you're more likely to say, oh, I took a natural supplement than to say, yeah, I was taking my husband's benzodiazepine or my sister's Valiums. So again,
or even caffeine on a heavy intake of caffeine every single day. Because a friend of mine had heavy intake of caffeine every day, and both her and the baby kind of had like little like shakes and withdrawals because they didn't have it for a few days.
Right. So, yeah, is this happening to the infants? No doubt. but what is causing it is what's at question. And I don't want to doubt anybody, but again, I want the receipts.
Yes.
You know, we're willing to show our blood work. We're willing to show our test results. Why isn't everyone else that speaks against it?
Right.
Right.
I love that.
And there isn't enough research on that topic either. I know, like, I've been in groups like Amanda as well, with some people said like they were fine with it, and they, like, you don't know because there isn't enough scientific research on that topic. So we definitely need more of that too.
Definitely. All right. I'm just going to stop there with the news story so we can, because I got so many things. I want to make sure we have time for everything today. Next up, I'm going to play a cool video I saw on TikTok from Sarah that was really good. So let's watch this together.
Hey everyone, you may have seen the news story from the Daily Mail that's making its rounds all over social media about the woman claiming that Kratom ruined her life and her face. When I read this, I was pretty shocked because I've been taking Kratom for over a decade. I am 42. It has never done anything to my face, and it never has done anything to negatively impact my life ever. If anything, it has only helped me, and it's a tool that I use to work out, to run a business, to keep up with my kids, and everything else. And if anything, I feel like I look and feel better now in my 40s than I ever have. So my experience is the total opposite of what this story was saying. I wanted to share this and be clear that there are sides to every story. And there are many people out there, such as me, who are responsible with Kratom use, and that it truly, truly does help. It truly has helped me in many positive ways, and it's forever impacted my life in a way that I never could have imagined, in a good way. So there are always sides to the story, and there's always things missing, and the news spins it always to their narrative. But I wanted to be clear with my story, and that Kratom has done nothing but help me. I personally use natural leaf. I believe adults should be able to make their decisions. But yeah, that's my story.
I love that. That was so good.
That was great.
I'm right there with you. Like I've got eczema, so anything that's like really dehydrating, you know, you've already got to stay, you know, hydrated on top of it. But since I've been taking Kratom, my skin, you know, my skin looks better. Like my overall appearance itself looks better. Like, I mean, like my friends, like I'll put those, you know, like the progression, you know, like 5 years later, and they're like, how do you get better with age? I mean, I'm going to be 48 next month. You know, I feel like I look better. I feel better now than I have in my entire adult life. And that's, you know, pain wise and everything. So I don't know, man. I mean, you know, everybody has their own experience, you know, if that's their experience, so be it. I have heard people say, you know, oh, could this Kratom, you know, cause discoloration of the skin? You know, I mean, that's been a topic that, you know, has kind of been a thing for a long time. And, you know, but I totally agree. I'm over here glowing. I love this leaf. I've used it as a soap. I've used it as like a face mask as well, because it's actually really good for like a scrub, and it actually really works nice on the face too. So I mean, it really does actually help the skin, surprisingly.
I think it also helps you're hydrated, you're drinking more water, and you're able to have energy and do things and be active, and being active is huge and really does help your body. So there's a lot of benefits to that too.
Yeah, that's the whole part of me existing, you know, versus living. You know, now I'm living versus existing, you know, and that's, to me, it's huge. I mean, I'm down over 100 pounds in the last 5 years. So that's awesome. To me, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's been a lot of work, but you know, it's thanks to, you know, not only, you know, it's all the alkaloids of the plant. That's what gets me up out of bed every day, because, you know, all the alkaloids are in the plant, even if it's in a small minute, you know, they are all there, and that's what's helping me keep going.
Yep, it helps me with my mood as well, and I'm able to go to the gym. Even some days I'm a little tired, I won't go like crazy with it and stuff, but I'm still able to keep moving and everything. If it wasn't for that, I'd be on the couch, honestly. because with hormones and being in my 40s and things like that, like you do start to kind of slow down.
And the weather out here, because you and I mean, here,
yeah,
like, it's raining right now. It's raining. It's raining.
And it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. We've been teased. We had like an 83-degree day the other day, but it was really windy. But it's raining again. So yeah.
And it's like 40. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, my body's angry. Yesterday my body was super tense. My head was super angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it helps with that too. So
it sure does. Yeah. I'm up and I'm here today. I like on a day like this with how we went from high temperatures back down to low temperatures on a really fast basis. My butt would be in that bed and lights would be off, and I wouldn't be talking to anybody right now. I would not be even up having a conversation.
Same thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or be on Netflix, like binge watching something. Yeah.
Bed rotting.
Yep.
But I called it bed rotting. That's what I felt like I did. I did so much bed rotting that I hate being in bed now. Like I have to be up and doing something because it's just mentally, for my mental health, it's just so much better now than sitting in bed rotting.
Yeah. And these are the stories that need to be heard rather than these negative ones. It shocks me how negative, gets all this attention. And then there's your story and there's Madeline's story. And it just, you know what I mean? Those need more attention than those, but have other angles to it as well. That's not the whole story with those either. So.
Yeah. I think the world needs to stop with the day and age that we're in right now. Just everybody stop a moment and just try to have a little bit more compassion for, for thy neighbor, because you never know what they're, what some other person's going through. Like we don't all have to agree. We can all agree to disagree, but you know what, like we're all here. We're all together on this, shitstorm that's called Earth right now, if that's what we're in, because that's what we're in. But like, just try to remember to be kind to one another, because you never know what the next person is going through.
100%. I got another TikTok video for us to watch. And this one's super interesting too. From Dan. Y'all make the best videos.
Every time Kratom hits the news, you'll hear the same line. This new substance, this emerging drug, this trend that's sweeping the country. New, emerging trend, 3 words doing a lot of work, because every one of them is wrong. Let me give you the actual timeline. Kratom, Mitraganous speciosa, has been used in Southeast Asia for hundreds of years. Farmers, laborers, fishermen chewing the leaf to get through the days in the heat. That's not folklore, that's documented history. In 1836, a guy named Lowe described it in Western literature. In 1895, the British botanist E.M. Holmes formally identified the plant as Mitraganous speciosa and noted its traditional use as an alternative to opium. In 1907, L. Ray sent leaf samples to the University of Edinburgh, where researchers began isolating the alkaloids for medicinal study. By 1921, mitragynine had a name. By the 1940s, multiple alkaloids had been identified. By the 1970s, Thai researchers were publishing on it. So when somebody on the news calls Kratom new, what they really mean is new to them. And here's where it gets interesting, because the conversation hasn't actually changed because the science changed. The science has been piling up for over 100 years. Hundreds of peer-reviewed papers, universities studying the alkaloid profile, pharmacologists mapping how it works. What changed is narrative. Around 2018, 2019, a phrase started showing up in the media, gas station heroin. That phrase wasn't even about Kratom originally. It was coined for tianeptine, an unapproved European antidepressant being sold at convenience stores. Different chemistry, different problem. But somewhere along the way, that phrase got pasted onto Kratom and stuck. Suddenly, a leaf with 100+ years of documented research became the new thing, and the data went out the window. Here's the part I need you to hear, because this is where the entire policy debate goes sideways. There is a difference between natural kratom leaf and concentrated 7-hydroxymitragynine products. Natural leaf, what people in Southeast Asia have used for centuries, what Holmes documented in 1895, what Ray sent to Edinburgh in 1907, is a plant, a bag of ground leaf. Roughly 1 to 2% mitragynine, less than 0.5% of 7-OH. The products lighting up emergency rooms right now, those are concentrated 7-OH tablets, synthetically enriched, sometimes 10, 20, 30 times the 7-OH that you would find in the leaf. That's not kratom. That's a derivative product wearing kratom's name. And every time a state writes a law that bans both without distinguishing between them, they're banning a 100-year documented botanical to go after a synthetic concentrate. That's not regulation, that's lazy legislation. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying 7-OH is inherently bad, but companies marketing it as kratom, a word that has meant something else for hundreds of years, causes people who don't know the difference to think these products are the same thing as the leaf that bears that name. So even if they do a little bit of research before consuming it, they aren't reading information about the tablet they're about to take. They're reading about the plant and then consuming something that carries severe risks if used like natural kratom. So when the headlines call kratom new, ask yourself who benefits from that framing. Because if it's new, it has no history. If it has no history, it has no legitimacy. If it has no legitimacy, banning it sounds reasonable. But the plant does have a history. Over a century of documented research, centuries of human use before that. Universities, botanists, pharmacologists, ethnobotanists, all on the record. The narrative changed, the plant didn't. If you care about this, about getting the policy right, about telling natural leaf apart from concentrated synthetics, about not letting fear win over facts, get involved. Reach out to the Global Kratom Coalition or Botanical AE. Talk to your state legislators. Share videos like this one. Ask the question that nobody in the headlines is asking. Are you talking about natural leaf or are you talking about the concentrate? Because that question is the whole ballgame. Education over fear, science over headlines. I'm Dan with Metrospeck. Thanks for watching.
That's so good.
I love his videos.
That
He's
was
all
great.
so like educational, and he's like, he really like kind of draws you in. Like he's got like a really captive voice that like makes you want to listen, and it's not an annoying voice that like makes you want to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Because we've all heard people like, we're just like, oh no, I'm not going to listen to that. Like he literally draws you in, and it kind of like, you're like, wait, let me listen to what he's saying. Because like I love every bit of information that he gives, every single bit of it.
I've been trying to get him to do that for so long. You don't even know. But finally, thanks to Madeline, actually, he finally started doing it because he's actually shy like me too. So it took a little bit, but I'm like, they will do good because he explains things really well. So yeah, I'm happy that he's making them now. So
I'm so
He
glad.
makes you feel like he's sitting talking directly to you, not preaching to an audience.
And he doesn't talk down to you on what you believe or feel like is good for you or what's good for another. You know, he just makes you feel accepted, and what you want to take is completely okay with him, you know, and that's that. And he gives the proper education, you know, like that just went back. Like I just learned a little bit from that. That's a lot of science that we have to back up our plant. What in the heck is going on? Like,
exactly.
I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't even know that from prior places. And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot of great information and science that we have centuries of. So yeah.
It's not new.
No, not new at all. I'm going to write those dates down and like get a few things printed out and hopefully get those off to New Hampshire before she makes her decision.
Yeah, I can help you with that too, for sure. Yeah, because it's not signed. So
yeah.
I love all the education and advocacy y'all do, Sarah. Y'all are both so good at it with putting videos out like that. They're just educating the community with facts and science. And I like being connected with companies like that, the ones that understand the importance of this. So many out there they just don't care. It's just all about how much money can they bring in, and there's more to it than that. They should all be advocating fiercely.
They really should. And that's my favorite part is the education.
The vendors like you guys that actually advocate with us, for us.
Exactly.
Those are the vendors that we need to hold up as shining lights. You guys, Chris.
That's what I've been doing. Them.
Yeah.
Happy Hippo. I mean, when I think
because
of the one,
you guys make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that you're not in it for the dollars.
No.
You're in it for
it is very stressful.
Yes.
So definitely not. Yeah.
I would never want to be a vendor, somebody who's worked just on the inside on a bit, you know, from the customer service aspect of it. Just some of the little kickback attitudes that I've gotten from some customers over the last, 8 years that I've worked for the vendor. It's no, absolutely not. And then the legality of it, the logistics of it, the cleanliness of it, the packing, the labeling. God give you guys the credit, because man, no, thank you.
Yeah,
it's so stressful.
It wasn't even something that we meant to do. It just happened that way. So, and then we were just really passionate about it, and it was a story. So we're like, wow, this is helping people so much. Right. And that's when we really, really got into it. And the education part we noticed was lacking. So we tried to do it as much as possible. It's hard now on social media, but at least there's school. TikTok has been pretty good with us. We're just educational with that. We don't do anything else but education. But Facebook, I can't say anything. So it's just, it's frustrating because you can't get it out, the truth, to more people. So
They're censoring us for more than one reason, and it's not
Yeah.
because Kratom is bad.
No.
And just a reminder, you and Dan put together a great website, kratomindex.com.
Kratom Index.
All the public
Yes.
research. There's so much information there.
Every day there's something on there.
I use your kratomindex.com link the other day with that officer. And I got to give the man props, and I should have written his name down. I apologize, but I think most of us have seen that video. The first time he came out, he was slamming 708, slamming Kratom. And so many of us in the community went back and said, wait a minute, you got it wrong. Now, here's the facts. And so many of us shared links and shared kratomindex.com. He came back the next day and made another video and said, I got it wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the
And
Atwood
that-
Police Department. Yeah, it was the Atwood
Yeah,
Police
Atwood
Department.
Police. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I listened
That was
to it a little
spectacular.
further, and he did come back. I mean, he still was a little, but he did come back, and I wish that more people would come back and being like, hey, like I represented something wrong. Let me apologize and bring you forth the truth, because whether
Exactly.
you like Seven or not, whether you support it or not, like I like that he came back and readdressed it all, and that meant a lot. Like, even as just a plain leaf consumer, like this is what we need more of, is like when, like when we're finding out, oh no, this death wasn't a Kratom death. We need that information to come back, not them just saying, oh, hey, this happened, and that's all they're hearing. And people are only hearing the bad. We're not hearing that, hey, this was wrong, let's fix this. We're not hearing any of that anywhere. So I give him a lot of respect.
Yeah.
They need
And
the
some
same
people don't want to
energy
admit
to
they're
fix it.
wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. Go ahead.
They need the same energy they're using to put the misinformation out, to put the
Yes.
correct information back out.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because
And what I was going to say,
Go ahead, Sarah.
all I was going to say is some people don't like to admit that they're wrong too. Even though they know they messed up, they're not going, you know what I mean? There's that part of it too, which is frustrating. But at least he admitted that he was wrong, and he came back out with what more people should be doing that.
I did put the link in the comments on the YouTube for the last
news media
video.
The news media has always been phenomenal at getting out the news story, the big headlines. But when they're proven wrong, they don't bother
They don't
saying that.
retract. They never
No.
retract. They never retract.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
it's
so
like,
frustrating.
I would pay a lot more attention to the news media
Mhm.
if they would acknowledge we're human, we made a mistake, and here's the correct information.
Yeah.
But they can't do that.
No. they
No.
never do.
And people would respect them a lot more for doing that. There's nothing wrong with being wrong and then fixing it and saying, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. That's okay. It happens, but just admit it,
I mean, everybody has flaws. We all have them. News, myself, if I'm wrong, like I'll fully admit it, and I'll take, hey, I take the responsibility. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Or if I ever explain something and somebody took it, hey, like I took it this way, this is how I took it, and that's not how I meant it, please, like I'll always give clarification on something. So I would hope that, the rest of the world would do the same. But, we like, I know, like even from going from therapy, we can't expect the rest of the world to give what we give, and that's I think a lot of us get hurt, because like, I know I would never go after someone for whatever is working for their pain. If this isn't harming them, or, this isn't harming them and this is helping them, I would never want to take something away from them if that was helping their pain. Because someone living with chronic pain, I wouldn't wish anybody to suffer at all, no matter what the case is. So that's just, that's where that word compassion comes into play again. Compassion for your friends and fellow neighbors.
Yeah, definitely. we still got lots to watch. We're so excited people are here with us live and hanging out in the live chat. And if you're watching the replay, we appreciate y'all. If anybody's watching in the replay, we did this last week and this was so fun. Remember at the end, it's like, let's do a word. Like, so if somebody said it, we knew they made it to the end. And what did we do last week? Like 2.5 hours, I think.
Yeah.
And we said at the end, I'm like, y'all somebody give me a word. Like, let's give our phrase. And somebody, I think it was you, Robin. Didn't you say Meng Da, right? I think that was, and several people watched the replay, and in the comments they put Meng Da, and I'm like, oh my God, you watched it to the end, which is amazing. We'll definitely think of a word for later, but what one for right? Let's come with a word for right now, because we're exactly 1 hour in, and so if anybody's watching the replay and you are still here after an ad, I mean, I think it's amazing. Anybody stays more than 5 minutes when they're watching the replay. That's pretty cool. So what Kratom word should we give out for the word of the hour? Anybody want to throw one out?
Well, we could say green for both mental health awareness and tea.
There you go. It is Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
That's a good one.
Green.
I like that.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
So put
I like
green.
that one.
And those who are here live, y'all feel free to participate too. Put green in the comments so we know you're watching at this very moment. We're an hour and 45 seconds in. So, but we still got lots more. I'm just like letting y'all know we got a lot more because we're going to watch a couple clips from South Carolina that happened recently in a legislative hearing. Thank you, Venus, for putting together the timestamps for me. And two, not just one big name comedian, two big name comedians talked about Kratom this week. I got the videos to show you. So let's start with South Carolina. We don't have time to play like a bunch of this hearing, but I wanted to play two parts. And this was, Venus, why don't you tell us, because you're the one that got this is a second hearing or some additional hearing on an amendment. They wanted to ban all Kratom, but then they came up with an amendment, which is what we're going to watch the amendment.
Right. And this one was the most recent one, as far as I know. And it was just nice to hear them say that the amendment was going to keep Plain Leaf safe. So, and then to have them vote on it at the end, it was just nice to see something positive for a change, for our work to come, you know, everything that we're doing to make, yeah, never mind. Just, it's nice to watch.
Well, and when you watch the one before this, they want, my understanding was they wanted to ban all Kratom, natural and 7-OH, right? Synthetic.
It sounded like everything, yeah, across the board. And a lot of them had some good input too. So it was nice that they're learning things as they're going along.
Because they learned from that one, which brought about this amendment we're going to get ready to watch now. Okay, just wanted you to set.
And then they had so many people testifying. That's why they wanted to have another one.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm just going to play a couple of clips. Let's start with the first one with the amendment.
So, but seeing how I have many individuals testify. I've had many individuals reach out to me, email me, leave voicemails. Most in support of making sure that natural Kratom is available but regulated. And so my amendment would allow for natural occurring Kratom to be sold, but it would disallow or make it unlawful for Kratom possessor or retailer to distribute, dispense, or sell any Kratom product to any individual under the age of 21. Prepare, manufacture, distribute, dispense, or sell any Kratom product that is adulterated with a dangerous non-Kratom substance that affects the quality or the strength of the product to such a degree that it may injure the consumer, contains a poisonous or otherwise harmful non-Kratom ingredient, including but not limited to any substance listed in section 4453-190, 4453-210, 4453-230, 4453-250, or 4453-270. It also would make it unlawful to contain or have it containing any synthetic alkaloid, including but not limited to synthetic midodrine and the synthetic 7-hydroxy mitogen. It's a very fun word to say many times. Or any of the other following synthetic derived compounds of the plant Mitrogenia speciosa. Man, I should have paid more attention in science class. Contains levels of, or anything that contains levels of residual solvents higher than the standards set forth in Chapter 467 of the U.S. Pharmacopoeia National Formulas, or does not meet the labeling requirements pursuant to the Section 4453/2030 and regulation promulgated to implement those provisions of that section. And so I will. I'm sure there are some questions. I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can. But, Mr. Chairman, in short, what this would do would allow natural kratom and the leaf to be sold, and any synthetic derivative of sorts or any filler would be illegal and unlawful to obtain. And then I would assume that we would go back to the penalty for distribution for 5 years, up to a $1,000 fine, or 6 months and up to a $1,000 fine as well.
All right, now I'm going to forward to the other part I want to play. So basically, because of the previous one, they want to do an amendment. That guy wants to do an amendment, which is good. So now let's watch. This was a good piece of testimony right here.
With the amendment. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Martin.
Ms. Landing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Having served like some of our other folks that have spoken on the subcommittee, and we did hear quite a bit of testimony, this is a really, really tough subject. And probably the biggest reason why is that it is true that we probably heard at least 70% of the folks talking about their own anecdotal experiences. And in many, many cases, it was heart-wrenching what they had gone through to try to find something that would help alleviate pain that most of us can't even imagine. Different diseases that are very rare, different things that, and they didn't want to be on morphine for life. They didn't want to be on opioids for life. They didn't want that. And then somehow natural leaf kratom really helped them and was not causing them. And these folks were standing at the podium talking to us and seemed very, very rational and normal and healthy. And it's because they claim this is how they came to be that way. But we did also hear from 2 toxicologists, board certified, who said that, you know, that when it breaks down in the system, yes, there's no question the synthetic is way more powerful, way more potent, way more addictive, and that coming off of it is the same or worse than coming off of heroin or any number of other really tough drugs. So I guess part of my question is with this, I do see that it's possible that the natural leaf actually does have medicinal purposes. We don't know that for a fact. I think that's why the FDA has held off on judging on the natural side yet. But what I was wondering is, if we do this amendment, does it still keep the synthetics as a Schedule 1? And then the natural would be considered not part of that, would only be regulated for age and labeling?
Ms. Lanning, that's a great question. As of right now, no, that would not move the synthetics to Schedule 1, but 7-OH is being considered and is getting ready to be, I believe, as a controlled substance and scheduled by the federal government. I am hoping at some point to make maybe introduce an amendment that would address your concern. I just haven't gotten that far in the back of my mind just yet. Ms. Lanning, thank you.
All right, those are the parts I wanted to play for y'all. Thank you, Venus, again for
You're welcome.
pulling that out and mentioning.
I just love that she noticed that the
Yeah.
testimonies were that we were normal and healthy when we went in there. You know, she noticed that we weren't the way they were saying that we were acting
right.
because we drank it
Right,
too.
which is it's such an important distinction, right? Whenever kratom advocates go and testify, share their testimony, does anybody look spaced out? Does anybody look high? Does anybody look incompetent? No.
And I really
Never.
hope that, especially South Carolina residents, take a moment and send a thank you to that man for being willing to listen and do an amendment that will help
Yes.
keep leaf kratom safe. because those thank yous are just as important as the emails calling them out. They need to know that people are
100%.
watching and people are appreciative.
And that's something we all think of doing, right? And it's such a good point you bring up. While back, my U.S. House for Representative did something, and I saw it on TV, and I was like, oh my God, yes, I love when they do something right that we like. It was like a weeknight. Nobody's going to answer the phone in his office, but I called his U.S., the D.C. I mean, he's mine where I live. I called the Washington office. I left a voicemail, and I said, I just saw this on TV and just want to tell him thank you for what he just did, and that we need more of this happening. Like, we don't think to do that, but when I saw something, I was so inspired. I'm like, I want to do something I think most of us don't ever think to do. I want to thank them for saying something right.
Yeah, and that matters too. That's they're going to be like, hey, I'm making a difference, and instead of people just being mad at them that they're doing something right, it is
And
needed.
people are
More of us
noticing.
should do it. Yeah,
I was super proud of New Hampshire when they were asking a bunch of questions and they really wanted to learn. And I'm still proud that they really wanted to learn. But that's where I'm putting my comment on that. Yeah, right now I'm just proud that they wanted to learn. Right now, that's it. Right now, New Hampshire, I'm a little disappointed.
They even ran out of time, but they still let people speak. They couldn't speak as long, but they still let everyone that was there talk, and that matters.
That's a huge thing. They let everybody get their voice heard.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it takes a minute to send an email saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for doing what we asked you to do, what we elected you to do. Take that minute, because the ones that are trying to do it right do deserve our appreciation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's something we, way back in the day, we used to preach. Always tell them thank you. We need to start preaching that again.
Yeah.
Venus, who's in your arms? Who's that?
That is Rosie. I got to check because the only way I know is the ear is different a little bit. But this is little Miss Rosie. She was supposed to just be a foster, but now she's a regular, so she's going to be staying. So.
The foster fails the best, though, because they choose you. They choose you.
True. Yeah, I'm happy. There's nothing better than cat cuddle puddles, when you're feeling sad. So
honestly, like animals in general, they're such good, therapy, and they just
therapeutic.
They feel, they feel our emotions, and they know when we're hurt, they know when we're sad, and they just, they come and love on us, and they're honestly better than most human beings in the world.
Yeah,
but they can also hold a grudge longer than any human being I know.
They're stubborn. They can be stubborn. God knows.
Mine is holding a serious grudge against me right now.
Oh,
probably won't be over for a long time.
It's funny. So if anybody hasn't heard, two different well-known comedians were having Kratom conversations on YouTube this week. Well, all over one was a YouTube podcast we're going to watch first. The other one is on his very popular late night. Is it a late night? I don't even know if it's a late night show or what kind of show, some comedy show he does. But a lot of high profile people talking about Kratom. So have y'all heard of comedian Margaret Cho talking about Kratom? Who knew that she took Kratom?
No, I'm excited about that.
That's cool. That's
I was
cool.
like,
That's cool.
And like, she isn't like, she's not like in the middle, very neutral. But I'm going to play this clip. She talked about it for about 4 or 5 minutes on this. She was on this podcast. I know I played some clips from this podcast before, from this particular guy's show. It's called Dopey Podcast. I think he's just in recovery, and he brings on people and they talk about recovery issues. And he's had people come on and talk about Kratom. And this guy's mocked Kratom before. But Margaret Cho, in just under the first 2 minutes of this episode, brings up Kratom. And it caught my attention because when I searched for Kratom, it has to be like, it's looking for keyword Kratom, right? And this interview came up, and I'm like, a Margaret Cho interview, and it didn't say Kratom in the title. The title is Margaret Cho, 10 years sober after weed, pills, and intervention. But it said Kratom in the description. I'm like, what? So I'm listening. I'm like, well, I got to find the part where she talks. I'm curious just to hear what she has to say about Kratom. And she brings it up like literally 1 minute and 40 seconds in. And so I'm going to play this clip because it's interesting to hear of somebody who used Kratom a long time ago, but she never talked about it. But then again, you know, not everybody's going to talk about it, especially somebody in the public spotlight, and with Kratom being demonized for so long. But I'm glad that she wasn't afraid to talk.
You know, a lot of pharmaceuticals get pushed by, like, you know, like, remember Fen? Remember that got, you know, it's like the weight loss stuff. That got pushed by a lot of, you know, actresses and stuff too. But you don't see, you know, you don't see a lot of plant. I like to call it plant medicine for me, you know, plant meds, because that's what it was way before pharmaceuticals. This is what, you know, was way around before pharmaceuticals. So I always call it plant meds. But yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talking about it, because sometimes you do get that. Oh, you know, it was kind of like, I mean, you remember those looks that we would get when we carried our big things of, you know, pharmaceuticals around. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're really taking all of that? Like,
Right.
the looks we would get, it's like, oh, wow, really?
Exactly. I mean, when it comes to Margaret Cho, though, like, I knew she'd like been in recovery, that she had drug issues and alcohol issues, but I never heard her talk about Kratom. So I'm gonna play this for y'all because it's interesting to hear what she has to say.
Like, the thing about recovery is everything kind of, after about like 5 years, everything's kind of the same a little bit.
It can be.
It can get very similar, and that's comforting and great. There's never any sort of thing. There was a little flare up when I found out you could get Kratom at the gas station.
When was that?
That was maybe about 5 years ago. Well, you know, when people are drinking, that's whatever it is.
The 70H.
Yeah, that stuff at the.
So she thinks that she was consuming 70H, drinking it 5 years ago. That part kind of threw me. I'm like, I don't. She was probably talking about one of the extracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but still, to hear her say, like, my ears so perked up when I heard her say Kratom, I'm like, did she just say Kratom? But this is really, she tells a really interesting story.
Gas station.
The hydroxy extract.
And getting
shot.
super kind of like fucked up from it. And I was like, God, I wish I could have tried. Because my Kratom, we had to choke down so much of that powder, that bitter, awful powder. It's so gross.
Did you ever dry scoop the Kratom?
Yes.
How does dry scooping even become a thing?
It's so like, it's not water soluble. It's such a, there's something about the molecules of it. There's just no way for water to get in. So it's so like dry. I mean, and so you're just choking it down, and you kind of try to, like, I would bring a blender with me on the road, and I would try to get the powder in and with as much like lemonade as I could, but it just, like, I could never quite get it to blend. And so finally you just learn to choke down, because you have to take so much of it too for it to have any impact.
The leaf
That's
turned
ground
into
up.
the powder, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, and after a while you really get exhausted from trying to fill up the capsules, or buying the capsules already made. It doesn't even work, because you need more. So I had like a friend who was really good at making capsules, and she would make like a ton of them for me. But it's just, after a while you get so sick of even downing all those capsules that you just want to choke it down. So the powder was the only way to get it. So now when you can actually just buy it already in a can or bottle, to me that seems like that's cheating.
Well, it's like
Feel
learning
free.
to shoot dope, or it's like the Artie Lang story of taking 100 Vicodins before he finds heroin, and
Right.
he's like, I can't take all these Vicodins, and someone's like, oh, you should try heroin.
Right. It makes it so much easier.
Remind me of Kratom's role in when you got sober, because nowadays we're doing these Zooms,
Yeah.
and I'd say every third email I'm getting is about Kratom.
Yeah.
And people are showing up to our Zooms desperate
Yeah.
around Kratom. And then there's this double standard stigma that Kratom is for pussies and you're not
No.
so describe the end of your
No.
run with that.
Well, Kratom was with me for like seriously 10 years. Like, I was a super early adopter of it. And as soon as because I was doing because I would get so dope sick that I was doing tons of Imodium, and like you would read on Arrowwood, okay, well, Arrowwood's like saying, well, if you're dope sick, try tons of Imodium because you can just buy a ton of those and that will stop you from being dope sick because there's a molecule that blocks the mu receptors, whatever. It's something that you can use, and that worked. But then Kratom was started to be introduced. I think it was on Arrowwood. There was like a lot of people around me who were also jacked up on pills, and they were not hardcore IV drug users, but they were like trying to bypass it by saying, well, let's try Kratom. There's a thing that maybe we could try. And it was available at head shops, and you could buy it, and it wasn't hugely expensive yet. And it was just legal, and it was there.
And you were all opioided out at that point.
At that point already. So it was a way to stop being dope sick. But then you would still end up being dope sick if you didn't take the Kratom. But then you would need both. Like it wouldn't be enough. Like the Kratom would get you to a place, but you never really got high. You did at first a bit, but it was mostly to stave off dope sickness, which opiates is all that anyway. It's trying to not be dope sick.
All right, so that's all. That's the whole part of our talking about Kratom. But I was not expecting that at all. I had no idea. And she's old school Kratom powder, man.
Yeah, from Arrowwood days, which is way, way back.
What is that? Yeah. What was that shoot? Because I don't even know what that is.
Arrowwood was precursor to Reddit, the popularity of Reddit.
Okay.
Forum based. If I remember correctly, pretty heavy in the dope community.
Okay.
That was a big part of
that kind of seemed to be a lot of like the black market type of communicated area. Mm-hmm.
And that's where the take Kratom with loperamide came into play, or take tianeptine with it. That's where a lot of that came from.
Yeah, I remember tianeptine. That was crazy. Mm-hmm. Even Brandon had said that tianeptine was a little bit like it wasn't something we were going to partake with. He was like, no, that stuff is no good.
Yeah, and the gas station heroin term that came for time, not Kratom, it started with that first. Yes.
Yeah. When I started the Kratom Gals show back in December 2023, we would sometimes play these news stories like what we watch now, and they would say gas station heroin, and it was always tianeptine,
Exactly.
But Kratom would be thrown in. They weren't calling it necessarily that but somehow in the conversation they'd be talking about Kratom, and then slowly over time they started calling Kratom the gas station heroin.
It's kind of like how they've gone from like the spice and all this other stuff, and there's like legitimately some stuff that's out there that has been dangerous, and we can all agree, like it can be dangerous. There's a lot of stuff out there that's like, what the heck, but then to lump like Kratom in, like, as we see it on a bill, like it was, I think Nashua at one point had nitrous and Kratom lumped together. And it was like, come on, that is like, it's like beyond, or, and maybe they're being lumped in because they're like, oh, it's, stronger than morphine, but it's like, no, like there's no, chemically altered state like any morphine or, illicit substance does.
Agree with the stronger than morphine or the 13 times stronger or the 50 or all that, because I took morphine for 3 years, and to me there's no comparison. It's
exactly.
There's
no comparison.
If
you take morphine, you're not getting up and functioning.
Right. I just
no morphine. I was laid out in bed. Even the low doses of Vicodin, only because the Vicodin wasn't helping my pain. I mean, there was Vicodin perks, oxys, patches, you name it. I've had the pain medicine since I was 9 years old. So it was just like all of that, it put me down. And it's like Kratom's not putting me down, Mitt's not putting me down, Seven's not putting me down, so it's, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm, of course, an outlier with morphine. Morphine does nothing to me at all. IV morphine and ERs, it does nothing.
It gives me a migraine, and it does nothing for my pain. It makes me tired. That's about it. It gives me a migraine. It does nothing for my pain. It makes me tired. Kind of like like Flexerol. It does nothing like as a muscle relaxer for me. It just makes me tired and irritable.
It doesn't
know?
make me tired. That does absolutely nothing.
It makes me sick to my stomach. That's it.
And then in pain management, that's separate. It was a couple of ER visits. Like they're wondering why morphine doesn't. I'm like, it doesn't work on me. I could have told you that. In pain management, at one point, insurance didn't want to pay for the meds the doctor prescribed me and says, no, we got to change our meds, and wanted me to take long-acting morphine. And I told the doctor, I said, morphine does not work on me. Okay, it does not. Trust me, it doesn't work. He goes, but your insurance is, I tried. The insurance says if you want this covered, we got to do this. And for like 2 months, I used these morphine extended capsules that didn't work on me at all.
I felt awful with those. I felt very ill.
And I was just suffering in worse pain because I wasn't getting pain relief. And I told him, he goes, yeah, but I have to document that it doesn't work. Like, I need to see it doesn't work on you. And that's how corrupt these insurance companies. And then this particular thing was 2012. This was a long time ago. I know it's worse now with insurance companies, but even back then they were doing ridiculous things like this. All that ended up doing was put me in an ER with an impacted bowel from those morphine pills that didn't help my pain, but gave me crazy side effects that natural kratom never has done to me. I've never had any side effects with kratom. So, but when I hear them do that comparison about morphine and 7-OH, I'm always like, where's that documentation that proves that? Because it always comes out to me like a talking point. 13 times more powerful than kratom. Like, okay, well, where's the documented proof of that?
It was like when I was in the hospital, they were pushing the Dilaudid on me, and I'm like, I can't take it. Like, it makes me like very violently ill. And they're like, but this is the strongest thing we have. And I'm like, I don't care how strong it is. Like, this does not work for me. If I'm violently ill and I puke, that could be it for the artery. And then, 6 hours later, they're like, how about ketamine? And I'm just like, what is with no.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want any of it. And they're like, oh, well, never mind. Anyways, you're going into surgery. And I was just like, but they will push medication on you. Even if you tell them, no, this doesn't work for me. Like, no, I'm not looking for anything stronger. I don't want it. First and foremost, I don't want it. It's not doing it for me. I got through this pain for a whole week without pain meds. Like, no, like, I don't need it. I've gotten through everything without these pain meds the last 9 years. How about no?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We got to watch this John Oliver thing because, man, if people have not seen this yet, he has a very popular TV show called Last Week Tonight on HBO Max. And I don't even know what kind of numbers he has on his HBO Max. I'm sure it's big.
Okay.
But just on his YouTube.
Check and see if Sam needs to go to the bathroom or anything, because
we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
okay. So on his YouTube, this video came out on Monday. It's only been out for 5 days. This video has been viewed 2.4 million times. Okay. When I tweeted about it, when I first saw this on Monday, I tweeted it out later that day, and it was at 600,000. I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot. Then I checked it again the next day, and it was at over 1 million. So here we are now. It's over 2 million. There's 8,100 comments. So the YouTube channel is Last Week Tonight with 10 million subscribers. So we're going to watch. The name of this is Gas Station Drugs. And he talks about several different things, but he does spend a lot of time talking about kratom. So I'm going to play this, and we're here to react and discuss it. And I think this is one of those ones where we're going to have to keep stopping and share our reactions, because it's about a 10-minute, it's actually about a 12-minute segment or 13-minute. Like, it's pretty long. Has anybody here seen it already?
I've seen a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
yeah. It's I was quite shocked. I mean, he does a lot of mocking and making fun of.
Yeah.
But, it's okay, but you're also painting a picture that looks really bad about what this really is.
It does, and a lot of people are watching that. So yeah.
So I'm sure by now.
If they want to talk about gas station drugs, why aren't they bringing up the energy drinks?
Right.
I mean, the biggest single drug out there that is widely available to anyone at any age and can kill you quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, what I don't like about this kind of mocking, what I don't like about this kind of mocking is how many people like us that, you know, consume their kratom, no issues, it's making their life better. But you got a friend or a family member who saw this. I mean, that's 2 million just on YouTube, just YouTube. So on HBO, because I checked when the next time I was on HBO, I popped right up on my screen. So who knows how many people saw it there, plus other, you know, cable outlets that have access to it. So I'm thinking, how many people are being demonized by their friends and family who saw this mocking of kratom that's helping them, but this is made into one big joke. So,
and he never really gives the option for someone to rebut against him. It's just he demonizes us and then walks away like his hands are clean.
Yeah, and yes, Angela, that's in the school community at Kratom Real Talk. It was posted over there too. So yeah, well let's watch this. I'm going to start it right at the part where he brings up kratom. Out of this 30-minute video, is 9 minutes in, and he spends a big chunk of it on this. So I'm sure I'm going to stop multiple times to talk about, because it's just one thing after another. So if you just feel free to jump in if you want to have me stop so we can discuss a part that you think we need to discuss. A long time ago, this was more common. I mean, I never hear about these days seeing this. When I first discovered kratom 7 years ago, it was more common to hear stories like that or to see that train wreck. But I mean,
unfortunately, there are still people out there doing it, but it is fewer and fewer now because consumers
gives it a bad name, bad look.
First off, this guy's English. They don't even allow kratom there. Why are you messing with us?
I don't know. I don't like how he makes the kratom business owners to look a particular way too, which is that bothered me a lot. You know, like I don't know. That was wrong. He's just trying to twist it.
But look at his face on the pause screen.
Yeah. I mean, I understand a comedian takes things and spins it into something funny. I totally get that. This just makes the whole industry look bad, but this is another reason why we need regulation, because we don't need products like that out there. And that, you know, again, it was more common a long time ago, but not so much anymore. Even to show you like that, he was showing a video from the Champs show is what that was with those booths. That had to have been from at least a few years ago. That was an old Happy Hippo logo. They have not used the logo with the hippo in quite a while. Is Happy Hippo?
Yeah, that was probably like 5 years ago, because for the most part, Champs doesn't even have kratom vendors at it anymore.
Right, exactly. So some of this information is definitely outdated. I mean, definitely that video showing products like this. But again, he's a comedian, so he's going to mock. So let me keep going here. But this is right here exactly why we need regulation, because regulation would get rid of those products, and this wouldn't be something to be made fun of.
I remember a lot of those products like 10 years ago, but it was a long time ago. I don't really see that much now. It has become better with consumers doing their research and everything else that pushed all that away.
And the self-regulation has been great, because, you know, companies don't have to do all the self-regulation, but a lot of y'all do, and the packaging just gets better and better, which is great. But it'd be great to have like state regulations or federal regulations where everybody has to do it.
Universal.
You can't be the one not doing it and still selling something like this. Agree with this? You know, what I've been saying for years, extract should be single. Those little bottles, if it's a little bottle, it should be a single shot. And when early on in my kratom journey, even though I don't use extracts, especially not the liquid ones, when I would hear stories about them and people talking about how many servings I remember one person one time told me this one had 9 servings in a little bitty bottle. I'm like, how are you supposed to know how much of it to consume?
Yeah,
and measure
how do you
it.
properly measure it? Is it like a tiny little capful? Is that what the 9 servings is? Like, what is the serving size?
But
I didn't like the little shots.
sorry, by the time it reaches your tongue, you've already drank half the bottle.
Right.
You
But
know, so
but this
so
particular
difficult.
this particular person said the print was so small on the bottle, I didn't even read it. She didn't. So, she got addicted to it because
Yeah, it's true. You can hardly see it because it's
But
so
but if
smashed.
the packaging is that bad and you don't understand what it is, why are you taking it and putting it in your body?
Right. But it was years
Thank you.
ago.
Why are you buying it and using it?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So
The company should have all that information and how much, and even like a pamphlet or something, and have all the information. If you're not getting that, then maybe not choose that product.
And if you can't read it, take a picture of it and then get in your gallery and spread the picture and see if you could read anything on. I mean, I would just do anything I could before I took anything to prevent.
But everybody does that. I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
And so they don't take the responsibility and then wonder, why did I get addicted to this? It's like,
that's not the
I looked
product's
at the fine print and I didn't realize this bottle says 3 servings or 5 servings or 9. To me, it's like if it was single serving or maybe 2 servings, you wouldn't even have, it would be more of a non-issue.
Look, one of the packages he showed there was 5-hour energy. That's actually what, 2 or 3 servings per bottle?
2, I think it's 2.
You don't see him attacking them.
And you know, when I used to drink those alone, I didn't drink a lot of those, but whenever I did, I didn't realize that. And I normally read everything, but I don't remember it saying it was more than 1 serving. So I would typically just down a whole one. So I think when you have products that are so small like that, the print's going to be small, and most people either are not going to notice it or don't know to look for it on there. It's like, why can't products on shelves take some of the responsibility themselves?
Right.
Manufacturers have to hold some of the responsibility on that. And consumers being responsible for themselves have to hold the rest.
But here's when he made fun of the 9 serving. And I remember we played that news story was from a few years ago where the lady was, it was crazy. Like there was 9 servings in that box. It's like, I remember us playing that story a couple years back. So I look at this and I go, okay, the industry needs to do something because this is messed up. He has points to mock Kratom that are legitimate. This is some crazy stuff. We're offended because we're consumers. We're responsible consumers. So we see the mocking making the plant look bad and the industry's looking bad. But on the industry side, I am hoping that the manufacturers and the lobbying groups are doing something about this because they're the ones that could ultimately do something about this.
Right. And they shouldn't be selling products like that. It makes everything look bad, you know?
Yeah. And to have over 2 million just on YouTube, who knows where else? We know it's on HBO Max. How many people have seen this?
Right.
Without having responsible consumers in their other ear saying, wait a minute, most of what he's saying is wrong. It's old information.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of this is older information. All right, well, let's keep going. This thing just really is upsetting to watch. This is old, by the way, just so everybody knows. This segment is very old. So just want to point that out.
Yeah. But it's like, why are you taking that many?
That story is old too, because I know we played that one on the Kratom Gals several years ago.
Very old.
Yeah, they're finding lots of really old footage.
I thought he did an older one before, and I wasn't able to find it.
Who?
John Oliver.
Yeah, he's done one of these before on Kratom?
I thought he did, but I wasn't able to find it. So it might have been another host that did one similar. But he did one on opiates, but I couldn't find one on Kratom. When you said this was an older one, I thought maybe it was an older one from an older show that he did.
No, I just remember that story, all these stories, because we've played. I remember that RV one because it was just so bizarre. The woman, because I remember we talked. The woman worked in a convenience store, and
that's what I thought.
Spent $100,000 on Kratom. I just remember the whole story was very bizarre. And so it's like, is it even true?
It doesn't really sound like it, honestly.
I want to work at that gas station and make that kind of money.
Right?
I could be happy.
Yeah. That's like something's not adding up with that particular story. But you can see like how this has turned into comedy. It's like, let's take these crazy, outrageous stories, even if they're really old, like the Joe Rogan one's really old, and let's spin this into a comedy and poke fun at this industry.
It's like he told his staff, go find me the oldest, stupidest Kratom stories out there.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
And his staff lived up to the challenge.
Yeah, because I don't think anything they've shown. I mean, we're not done yet. There's still more of this, but I don't think there's anything shown so far that's something current in like even like the last year or two. Like this is like older.
The only thing current I saw is some of the pictures of the 7OH in the smoke shops. That's the only thing current.
Right. But even some of that could have been from a few years ago because that's been on the market a while. Well, we still got like we still got quite I think we're only halfway through. We still got quite a bit now. We all know about the bias of Google with Kratom and how they make it so hard to get accurate information. So they're making a joke out of that.
With that girl that was saying, it was like heroin. Like, if you look at her, she looks really young. Like, I want to know how old she was when she did heroin, because heroin itself, we all know, hasn't been around for 15, 20 years, at least, with fentanyl and everything else being around. So, I mean, she must have been like a very young, elementary school child, if that's when she did heroin. So I'm just like wondering, what these people are honestly comparing to heroin, because it's not even heroin that's out on the streets now too. They need to start realizing that if they are comparing it to something, it's more like a fentanyl, or, this is what's on the streets now. Like, I don't think people realize that heroin is no longer on the streets anymore. This heroin is no longer out there. Everything has a synthetic, completely altered thing to it now, like fentanyl, xylazine. There's a new one, and I forget how to pronounce it. It starts with a C, and that one you can't even use Narcan with.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think a lot of people forget, what really is out there right now compared to what was out there before. Not to say that heroin was great, but it wasn't what is out there now.
Right. That's
some people could function with heroin. You have functional heroin people.
No, heroin. I mean, anybody who knows someone who's either seen a video, a picture. I mean, knows somebody. Heroin has you completely knocked out, knotted out. Like, if that was how this product was, then billions of users would be sitting here slumped out, and that's not the case. We're not nodding out like a heroin user would be, or even a fentanyl user would be.
But also somebody taking small amounts for their chronic pain versus somebody who's chasing a high is just night and day as far as what the dosing is.
Exactly.
Or the type of product they're buying, like the dopiums or some of these that, are extremely potent, way more than others.
Right. I didn't like the way he was making the business owners look too. Like they're all these shady criminals, just doing it to make all this money, and they make so much money, which is so far from the truth.
Well, it's like they lump the gas station products in with, whether it be Kratom or a mint extract or a 7O extract, they're lumping these gas station products in with good vendors, good quality compliant vendors. Whether they're selling extracts or not, they're still making sure that all of their labs, their compliancy packing and everything is compliant. So it's it's sad to see that they just get lumped into one big category.
And then this one said it's 7 times stronger than morphine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
every story is different. 13 times, 7 times.
All kind of.
It's a talking point. It's a talking point that's always thrown out. All right, let's keep going because there's still a little bit more. And even when I stop, there's a little bit more further down too. But we're understanding the Google thing, and he's totally because see this kind of stuff that really is pissing me off, because it's like we all know how biased Google, and not just Google, look at Meta, which is Facebook, and a lot of these, they are controlling the narrative. They don't let us talk
Yes.
about Kratom. They're not letting us get access to the information we need about Kratom and about different things, and to stay on top of advocacy. And it's all by design. And he's mocking because they found an interview, which was not current, but that's an old one we've done before too. Because back when I started the Kratom Gals, there weren't as many stories week to week. There were some, but I would just go find a bunch of old videos for us to watch. Over time, it was like, wow, Kratom gets brought up in the news all the time. I don't ever have to play old stuff anymore. Everything we watch is like, here's what's happened last week. Here's what I found that's new. But yeah, I remember that guy talking about the Google thing, and it is a legit concern. But if the layperson would go, "Oh, there's a joke in this," because there's no way Google, and now he's mocking like as if it's the Kratom industry that's behind something.
Right.
It's just
instead of saying the opposite, which is reality. The Kratom industry has been working diligently. The Kratom advocates have been working diligently to get the real information, the beneficial information out there. And Google throttles us down. Facebook throttles us down. Every social media platform out there does, except for school or Substack. So don't use Google as an example, first off. Right. If you truly want true, unbiased information, Google is not the place to go.
But we all had to learn that. I mean, think about when we all first discovered Kratom. Where's the first place you went? Google.
Google.
Right? And then we come to learn, oh, don't Google Kratom because you're not going to get real accurate information. As a matter of fact, most times the thing pops up with Samsung like, do you need help with drugs? It's like, it even does that if you Google Percocet. You could be a legitimate pain patient just trying to research Percocet before you take the pharmaceutical your doctor prescribed. And guess what happens I did this as a test a few years ago.
Yes.
It brings up the whole Samsung thing. It's like, do you need help with your drug addiction? Here's a phone number. Like, it didn't even give you the info about the pharmaceutical. It's like,
right. Or do you need help? Are you in pain? It's just you have a problem.
It's do you need help? Are you addicted? And it's like, for a chronic pain patient, that's a slap into our face. We can't even get the information about a legitimate pharmaceutical.
No, we used to literally tell people, when you're doing advocacy, tell people if they choose to go to Google, make sure they scroll through the first 2 to 3 pages of results before they pay any attention to what they're reading.
Yep, the first page is awful. It's just all negativity and what they want you to see, basically.
Yes.
Yep.
100%. And Mike, which is Craig, says, when I first Googled Kratom 4 years ago, the first thing I saw was liver damage, but then I didn't let that sway me. I read into it and found the benefits, so I tried it and it saved my life. That's amazing. Yeah, a lot of us had to dig a lot further than just, a simple Google search. All right, let's keep going with this. His whole thing on Kratom, but then he brings up again a little bit at the end. Let me bring that up and to wrap this up.
Well, at least he acknowledged that prohibition is not the answer.
Well, okay, so I liked how he closed out with that, but I'm thinking to myself, the damage was already done by mocking it for like a good 13 minutes. That was a 13 minute.
Yeah, is everybody going to follow it till the very end of what he's saying
mock
too?
It, and let's use old reports and old this and Sharpie, from a long time ago packaging. And then at the end, like, well, prohibition, it's like, dude, you already damaged the reputation of Kratom. I'm sure people that know me are going to be like, I can't believe you. I saw that. All those things he said, like that, it's like, okay, you say that at the end. Like, okay, I'm going to rag on Kratom, but prohibition doesn't work. Let's talk about tianeptine now. Moves right into that.
Yeah, it's wrong. He found the worst things, like we said, that he could to possibly make fun of it. And that man that sold whatever and make it look like they all sell something like that just to make it look worse than what it really is, which is frustrating.
Yeah, it's just not a good look.
No.
In the industry at all. All right, I'm going to play the towards the end here where he kind of wraps up and talks about this there, because you know what? If the government didn't do that with the opioids they took away from us, legitimate pharmaceuticals for pain management, that didn't happen to me. I was just like, you're on your own. There was the doctor didn't want to do anything. The government didn't step in to do something. So if they're not going to do it for pharmaceuticals, they're certainly not going to be doing this for Kratom, 7-OH, or tianeptine.
No,
they didn't even
not.
do it
They're
to
not.
try
They're
and
not.
wean people down.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They're not like, okay, it's like, okay, hey, all these meds are being taken away. Did they do a taper for any of us? Nope. You know, like how many people like lives were drastically affected by medication just being taken away? I mean, just coming off of pain medicine or even, you know, depression medicine alone, there's risk of seizures, you know, and it's like, do you know that?
I think we lost it. Y'all, are y'all seeing the comments? I think our stream just got taken down.
Oh no.
Look what everybody just said. Everybody's
wow.
Look at this. Stream unavailable. Stream suspended for policy. All we did was, you know what it might be? Because we were playing his. That's why I
Are
thought
we back?
I'm going to keep interrupting because we're truly reacting. I thought, because, you know, it's HBO Max. There might be something. Oh, man. Oh, wait.
Like a copyright
We're back
thing or
now,
something.
right?
We're back up?
Yep.
Okay, we're back.
Yep.
Y'all are freaking us out. because look, first of all, y'all all need to understand there's like a delay between what y'all see and us in real time. And all of a sudden, this is what came up and I'm like, I think we just lost the live stream, but now y'all are saying we're back up. Hey, Dan.
The time is 1:10, they said. So when I go back and look, if I watch the replay, I'll see.
But the stream, but we're back on YouTube now?
I never saw it go down.
No, it was during when you were showing that though. So is it something to do with that video or something?
Could have been. Okay, so this shows you the power of AI. They were able, because I was a little concerned, like, well, this is HBO Max. I wonder if they're gonna have a problem with that. But you're allowed to show videos.
It's gone. It's gone.
Are you serious?
Let me
go check too.
Oh, it just glitched. Let me see. It just
they're doing some kind of AI in real time to do that is what they're doing. All right, y'all.
Yeah, I've got us on my phone right now. I've got us on.
Okay, we are live. But let me tell you,
it's coming up on mine. Like I can see you on here.
I see us live too.
This is crazy. This is the state of the world. You know, it's like, look at us panic really quick. But, you know, like this is like every day. This is us on Facebook when our groups go down, you know, like when Wonderland went down, you know, that was 6.5 years of work and that went down and that was sad. So it's like,
I'm backing it up, and sure enough, not right now. We are back.
I know, but just the sight of that, it's like,
I can tell you, as someone who's been in digital marketing for 30 years, I can tell you exactly what happened here. Yeah, 3 minutes ago, our stream was unavailable. They suspended us for policy violations. Here's what I figured would happen. That's an HBO Max video I'm playing, but it's on their public YouTube. The thing is, you cannot put out copyrighted content. Like there is an advocate who literally downloads videos and uploads them on her channel. You can't do that's copyright violation. Okay, you don't ever do that. You can get in a lot of trouble for that. We're a reaction show. We're allowed to watch clips of things and react, but something as big as HBO Max,
and especially as long as we played it.
Well, that's why I want to keep stopping, because I don't remember like how long you could. There's definitely like an amount of time like you could play before you stop and react, and so I wasn't really paying a whole lot. But I knew I wanted to stop and talk a lot anyway. So they're using AI in real time, and we must have hit a benchmark, and they're like, we're cutting this in real time. Normally what would happen would be after we're done with this, YouTube would be sending me like this violation, and what they would do, and they've done this before where they'll say, like, you used a piece of music that came from, let's say, TikTok.
Yeah.
But YouTube doesn't allow it, but you don't know YouTube doesn't allow it. They'll say, you can just cut that music out, and it'll do it for you. And real simple, you don't lose anything. But they actually dropped our live stream, but then put us back. That's so interesting. But that's AI. And anybody that goes around saying it's the haters, I don't know. I don't know how many millions of times I have to tell y'all.
It's AI.
Yeah.
Well, and that
It's
just goes to show that you need to promote your school and Substack more,
even more,
so that in case worst happens, then
Even
people
more.
still know where to find you.
Yeah, there's a good time for everybody right now. If you're not already in our school community, go to kratomrealtalk.com. There's no censorship. It's like a Facebook group, but better and no censorship.
Free.
Join us. Yeah, free to join. Come join us over there because it's getting worse and worse on these platforms. And I don't get in trouble at YouTube because I already lost one account. I don't want to lose this one too. It's not haters doing this. Okay. I can tell you with certainty. The AI just keeps getting better and better. And they're able, I can't believe they did that in real time, but at least they put us back on and we're here live right now.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad we're back.
When I turn this stream off, I guarantee you, I'm going to be notified by YouTube. Probably going to put a strike on my account, and they're going to tell me that they cut that part. They just basically removed it.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, like, how long are we allowed to play before? But who knows? Maybe HBO Max has something where, we can't play anything, but you're allowed to react. So I'll have to do some research, and I'll ask ChatGPT. Surprisingly, get some AI to help me figure that out. But yeah, y'all come join us in school. We were pretty much done anyway. We were done with that. But what an interesting video. And it's had what we just watched had over 2 million views just on YouTube. I don't know how many millions on HBO Max and wherever else they broadcasted it. So Chris said we were just off for like a minute. Apparently we must have gone a minute too long with it.
It definitely got a panic out of a little bit of every one of us. And some of the people in the comments are like, wait, did that happen to me? And like, I'm sitting there reading everybody's comments. I'm like, okay, like, I hate that feeling. I hate that.
It is sad. It really is, because I get like that too. And like sometimes if I post something, I'm like, should I be posting this? Because especially on Facebook, I'm on my last strike on that, and like they will wipe me out, and I don't even, you know what I mean? That's why I don't like using it. So I like school, I like X, so I kind of try to stay away from Facebook.
Well, and like I said earlier, for those that are just now coming in, if you have a Facebook account, make sure you have downloaded and saved all of your content. The first time you do it, it takes a while, but then you can set it to do it every month or however often. And make sure you have other methods of communication, because if they decide they don't like you anymore, that's it.
Yeah, Facebook is really on a rampage in the Kratom community.
I literally cannot, like Sarah, I can't come in and say anything in your group. I can't even like any of the comments or posts you put up.
That's so sad.
And for anybody that's concerned about
on my page.
Yeah, if anybody's concerned about losing their Facebook, because we know they've already done it to quite a few people in the community that have a long time in the Kratom community. Now, on my personal, like I've been with Facebook since I think 2008 or 2007 for a lot of, and I use mine mostly for business. And in multiple communities, I have multiple Facebook groups that are old that I don't want to lose access. One of them I still use. So what I did recently, because I could very well lose my longtime personal Facebook, because only a few times I posted about the podcast or the Kratom Gals. I didn't do it very often, but I did a few times, and those were already removed. But
that was the last little jail stint I did.
Well, you know what?
That put me in jail too for putting the podcast.
Yeah. What I did is I went and got a separate personal Facebook and used my current one, since I have the Facebook groups, as an admin to invite my new one. So my new one, so if I lose my longtime Facebook personal profile, I'm not able to log into any of those Facebook groups.
Right.
But because I added my new Facebook profile into it, I can do it from that one. So
and that takes a long time to build those groups and have those people, and then they don't know where you just disappear, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, that's why it's important to be letting people know where you're moving to, but also have a secondary Facebook personal that you put in place where you can get access to that group as an admin. So if you lose your main, your admin can still be in there. You don't have to go add people or do anything from it. I mean, I literally have another Madeline's Claw Facebook. I'm not doing anything with it. I just want to be an admin to my old Facebook groups in case I lose them because of my main account. So,
or you can add someone as admin too, so they can have access to it if you lose it too. That's what I did. Like Dan's like my backup on the groups and stuff like that. So
yeah, but Facebook is just what a mess.
It's bad. Yep.
But yeah, Gray Bay said Los Angeles bus this week. They seized 19 kilos of pure
fentanyl.
Okay, but we're talking about Kratom here, so I'm not sure. I thought it was a post about Kratom, so I didn't read the whole thing before I clicked it. All right, we've already been here for over 2 hours. We were luckily at the end of the whole John Oliver. It all worked out fine. I'm glad we're still here. I would have sucked if they cut us off for the rest of the day, and I'm sure I'm going to get in a lot of trouble when we're done and I'm scared to go in my YouTube and see what they're going to tell me now. I want to close out. It's a short video, but it was just, and it's not a Kratom video, but it's a great, very short video about advocacy and how advocacy comes in a variety of ways. And this was just great storytelling of somebody dealing with a medical issue and how they could turn that experience into advocacy. And I think this just makes for a good story that we need more, advocacy in the Kratom community, of course, and more people speaking out, but sometimes it can just happen in ways we don't really think about. For me, I advocate because I lost access to my pain management, my pharmaceuticals through pain management, without no fault of my own. Government got really strict. 9 years of taking opiates every day, no issues. I was a stable patient, no addiction problems. Just needed it for my chronic pain, and I lost access. And luckily, I found Kratom. I'm grateful I found it because I was about to run out of the meds. I didn't know what I was going to do. And it's been a game changer. So I'm like, I have to advocate for this. People need to know about this. So I'm going to be a very loud advocate and educator. And I have been ever since. But it's interesting with this story. I'm going to show you how we're getting a lot of background. I'm here. I think Twinkle, that is probably coming from you. So I just think this is an interesting story. I just want to play for y'all. And thank you it was Venus's idea I should play this, which I wasn't even thinking about playing it today.
A patient story just took my breath away today. I was in clinic seeing her, and she'd driven across Texas. She'd had a breast reconstruction not too many years ago, and she knew something wasn't right in her body. So she came to see me after being turned away a couple different places. She brought her mom with her and her son, and we talked. And it became pretty apparent that she had bilateral tram flap surgery, which is a surgery that should not be performed in modern times. It was a breast reconstruction, similar to the kind that I do, deep flap surgery, but instead of protecting her muscle, they had taken both of her rectus muscles and left her with this big ventral hernia, this big bulge, this weakness. And it hurts, and she has to wear a binder to keep her belly, and it doesn't feel good, and she can't even get up out of bed unassisted because her rectus muscles are gone. And we got to talking, and I was looking at her, and I was thinking, God, man, there's not a lot that I can help her with because I can't put her muscles back. I started talking, and she just said to me, I'm thinking, how can I help her? And there's some surgeries maybe to help a little. And she said, gosh, I wish I could prevent this from happening to other people. And I was like, oh, Elizabeth. And I said, I can help you with that. I can help you with that. And we came up with a plan for her to tell her story. And by the time we left, her mom looked me in the eye and she said, you found your calling. And what I want y'all to know is that advocacy sometimes is better than any surgery. Sometimes that's the best thing we can give our patient, to turn their darkness into something light and help them tell their story.
Isn't that great?
He's absolutely amazing.
That's so true, because none of what we have done, nothing that is happening now could have happened. We couldn't be sitting here talking the way we are now if not for advocates that have used their personal stories to talk to people and tell them about this leak. So advocacy comes in all shapes and sizes, and hearing a doctor acknowledge that and help assist in furthering that woman's goals. I wish we could clone that doctor. We need a lot more like her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
She's the one that went viral last year for making a video talking about United Healthcare that called her while she's in the middle of surgery to inform her they weren't going to cover her patient having an overnight stay in the hospital, but she's in the middle of the surgery and they need her on the phone right now. So I remember she made a video, went viral, it was a big deal, but that video was just so interesting. Cassie is saying, I wish we could do these lives on school. We can actually. We can do these on school and be private because it's a private community. The thing is that if it's private in there, then only the people in there, we do this on YouTube so that more people, know about what we're doing and hearing our experience and learning more about Kratom. I would hate that the only way we could do something like this would be on school only. But the thing is, we do have school chats twice a week. We do host a
Thursday and Sunday.
It's like a Zoom. It's kind of like it's private. It's just us, and it's come as you are. Nothing. We're not doing this, and we're not like having big fancy. We're just talking about whatever we want to talk about, and it's just a nice casual place to hang out and be around other Kratom consumers. So it's every Thursday and Sunday at 3:00 Eastern inside our school community. So
nice. Yep.
I'll put the ticker up on here. So be sure to sign up for our newsletter on Substack and join our school community at Kratom Real Talk. So Cassie said her daughter got her account on Facebook deleted because her boyfriend's a sex offender list for sexual misconduct.
Yeah, they'll take it for anything anymore.
Yeah. But
and one other thing, Madeline, I wanted to bring up your video like a rock star class and how much fun I'm doing making the videos for that.
You've done wonderful.
Thank you. Anybody out there that wants, I love that confidence coach. I love that. Madeline's great at it. And just come to the video like a rock star and you can go at your own pace and we'll also have classes. It's really fun. Learn a lot.
Yeah, I've seen all your videos that you're making now. They're awesome. You've been doing really good with that.
Thank
you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad you did that, Vina. So yeah, I have a it's real simple. It's a 5-day video challenge. It's a school community. I have a separate school community. That's the link right there. I just have a short link, bit.ly link, bit.ly/VLAR stands for Video Like a Rock Star, which is the name of my program, VLAR 5-day. So Venus did that several weeks back. It's a 5-day video challenge. And some of y'all are probably noticing that Venus is now popping up in your social media feeds with her videos that she wasn't doing before, just talking about whatever. And Venus is so cool seeing that because you're sharing so much about you, and a lot of people already know you, but like when you do video, it's just a whole different thing.
And I love being able to tell my story because as soon as I found Kratom, it was like I just completely forgot. It was like bricks went up and blocked off that whole bad part of my life that happened. And when I did the interview with you, it was really hard for me to do just to talk about it. But now I'm starting to be able to process it and talk about it and talk through it. And it's great to be able to share that because I thought I was alone. And unfortunately, I wasn't alone. And there were so many other people going through the same thing. And that was in 2000, and things haven't changed and it's not right. Hopefully we can get other people help and they can fight back too.
Yeah. Love that. Anybody have any final thoughts as we close out? Always a great chat. Great having these discussions.
Just keep
And thank you,
contacting your
everybody.
legislators, contact them, because I mean, the quickest I've been finding is Fast Democracy has sent the emails out. BAE is sending out, sending out updated information as often as it comes in. But I mean, at this point, I think everybody's having a little bit hard time keeping up with it, because it's more than one a day. It's one right after the next. So just everybody do your due diligence, and send in those emails, send in your video testimonies to your legislative too, because it makes a difference. Step ahead of them. Send it in before they even have a hearing scheduled. Let them know, hey, this is a great plan, we want you to see the benefits of it.
Education. And just so everybody knows, one of the links we have on our website is a link to the legislative calendar for the United States. When every state rests. And we've got some states that go all year. Michigan is one of them, and Michigan is going to be a tough fight. We've watched some of the videos they put up out of there. So folks, especially in Michigan, or if you know someone in Michigan, if you have familial or financial ties to Michigan, get your emails into these people, educate them politely, kindly, and let them know what they're seeing and saying is wrong, and that they need to protect Kratom and deregulation.
Absolutely. Go to Botanical.
We need to be fighting for these KCPAs to be put forth. That's what we need to. We don't need to be worried about who's against who, what bans happening. Like, we need to be fighting for them to protect the KCPA, and protect the plant. That's what it's there for. That's what we need the higher ups helping us with, because there's only so much we can do on our end as advocates.
Yeah. Sharing your story, like Venus videos help so much. So if you're able to, or Madeline's great to help with that too, reach out to Madeline. And also education, send them to Kratom Index. That's a site that I do at the end. We don't make money off of it. We just do it in our free time, just so more people can be educated on all the information about Kratom out there. And it's a great source to send to someone that doesn't know much about it, to educate them. So
there's so many good avenues out there that have great aspects of, showing the benefits of the plant. It's there.
Yeah.
Education and advocacy are truly the answer. Yes, having lobbyists is amazing, and there are some spectacular ones out there. But our stories are what really tend to sway somebody back to our side.
Yep, it was us that saved it years and years ago. We're going to have to do it again.
If you're afraid to talk, reach out to one of us. Reach out to BAE. Reach out to GKC. Reach out to AKA and say, hey, I want to send an email, but I don't know how. Ask somebody to help you. If you want to make a phone call, but if you have phone anxiety, which a lot of people do, reach out to one of those organizations or one of the advocates that you already know and say, hey, get on the phone with me and help me. Those are all possible ways to advocate. You don't have to do it alone, but you do need to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Christopher says they always educating in his local community. And you got someone that went from a local congressman to a U.S. congressman. And he calls him Kratom guy. That's so cool. That's very cool.
And support those vendors that are helping advocate.
Absolutely.
Because without them, we're really in a bind. We need the good vendors that are helping to advocate.
And that's them right there on the screen. I mean, those are the only ones that I get mine from, that I will talk about, that I will support. And I've got a list there. Definitely check them out. Yeah, Sarah's on there, Christopher. Only the ones that I personally use myself, that educate and advocate. If they're not educating and advocating, they're not going to be on my list.
Christopher is awesome. I have a relationship with him and with Totten Bay, and we all stick together too, which is great too. Even though we're different companies, it doesn't matter. And we support each other and we work together and advocate too. So
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too, that you all do work together, and that is impressive to me.
And you guys all sell Kratom the right way.
Right.
You've gone to the effort and time and energy and money to do it the right way.
That's
You know,
right.
your products are tested, your products are safely labeled, your products are age gated. Those things are important and appreciated.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yep. And it's important to help people and help others and make sure that they're educated on that as well. You know, it's really important. Like you said, education is the most honestly important thing.
Yeah, it really is. All right. Well, I think we're going to close out.
Thank you all.
Show. I'm glad we didn't lose the stream completely.
Thank you, everyone.
Y'all freaked me out in the comments. I'm like, there was
know.
one of them, I'm like, oh, y'all, I think we're off the air. Ooh, that was a little scary. So I'm just glad.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there tomorrow.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Yep.
And to the dads that have been moms.
Yeah.
That too. Yep. All right, we're going to close out with Living the Kratom Life. Great song. Perfect for ending our awesome 2.5 hours here with you all. And, we got to pick a word. Do we want to use it? Well, we want to do a different word to close out, because if we do the same word, that was at the 1 hour mark. So for those that weren't here at the 1 hour mark, we came up with a word to say so we know you were there, whether you're watching live or watching the replay at 1 hour. It was the word green, because what was it you said, Twinkle? Is green is
Mental Health Awareness Month, plus it's, for green for the tea leaf.
Yeah, which was a good one. And everybody was putting in green. That was so cool. But we got to be a different one, because otherwise it could be somebody at the 1 hour mark. And we want to know that we're at the 2 hour and 29 minute mark. And last week we did Meng Da, and several people put Meng Da in the comments. I was coming back. Thank you for watching to the end. It was so cool.
Nice.
It's awesome that we have so many amazing people in our community that come here live. I know a lot of y'all have been here the whole time live. And then we have people watching the replay that come in and watch or listen to the whole thing, which is just so cool. So thank y'all. We appreciate it.
How about advocate? It's what we've been preaching.
That's a good one. That's a good word to end.
Yeah.
Advocate.
Perfect.
All right.
Yes, there you go.
That's a good one. So for those here live at that, wait, hold on. In 2 seconds, we'll be at the 2.5. We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. All right. So for those of you here live, put advocate in the comments so we know you're right here with us. And then those watching the replay, put advocate. You will get a reply from me later when you do it, because I will see it, and we'll be very thankful to you for taking the time to listen to us. So y'all have a great day, rest of your day and weekend, and happy Mother's Day. And we're going to be living the Kratom life, as the song says. So we will see y'all soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Woke up today feeling light. Grab my blend, ready for flight. Green mango, it's my start. Red barley to calm my heart. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Castles packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. White flame when I need the drive. It's the power that makes me thrive. Mix it up, I found my way. Living the kratom life every day. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. feel the strain. I know that Kratom eases the pain. So I take